The hottest station is now live for your enjoyment with host iamBranded.
Sunday, Saturday, or whatever, however, you want to celebrate or whatever. But so I figured this is the Thursday before Halloween. Why not touch on some things about Halloween? Like the history of Halloween. I've seen some contradicting type stories about how it all got started and what some of the meanings are and how people are perceiving, some of the meanings of Halloween. So we definitely going to talk a little bit about that, especially to start out the show. And then, let's, kick back like we all got a fire and some marshmallows or whatnot, for those people that are in cold places. But right now where I'm at in GA is not very cold right now, so I ain't mad at that though. But, I kind of grew up in and out of cold weather, so I could care less. I've seen enough snow, I like the heat. I can always cool down. So, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? I talk a little ghost stories, man. It could be some of the famous stories that you've ever heard, or it could be some of the infamous stories that, I got a couple of true stories that, I'm going to peep y'all, let y'all peep game on for that, and see what y'all think about some of these stories. And then I'll definitely, hopefully, get to some of the scariest places in the world, not just in America, in the world. There's a couple places, man, that's the top 10. And I knew about a couple of these places, but some of these other places that I heard about are definitely very interesting. I'm going to be reading some, but I'm not trying to read a lot tonight. I'm going to try to keep from that, but I'll give y'all the links and stuff like that so y'all can go check them out, I guess, on your own time if you really want to look into some of them. But definitely, man, it's definitely some interesting, scariest places. I'm going to go ahead, Mike, up one of my co-hosts, B. Mo Easy. I got my 570 people. I know that's probably one of them is probably DJ Pito. What's good? I'm going to go ahead and mic y'all up, man, and see what's popping with y'all tonight. What's good?
Hey.
Yo, what's good, man?
Hey, yo, hear me, Mr. Intense?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, yeah, I didn't actually have any stories today. My mom is actually on the line with the other 570. She has a real good, interesting story that when she was growing up back in Clinton, Indiana, it's really interesting. If you can actually put her on, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, we got to mic up moms, man. Come on now. Yes, we will. Hey, definitely, man. Good look on that. Definitely let moms tell her story. Mom, you are on. What do we call you, Mom? You're on Conspiracy Theory Thursday.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing tonight?
Happy Halloween.
Hey, happy Halloween to you as well.
Well, I have a real good story. We lived in Indiana. We moved into this house. It was $100 a month for a 3-bedroom house with all kinds of land, a big garage. Okay, the funny thing is, it was a very scary place.
Mm-hmm.
First of all around the house, the grass wouldn't grow. We had animals, they wouldn't go near the house. Everything outside of the circle would grow. In the back of the house, there was 15-foot vines, and then there was a chicken coop. Okay? We were kind of scared at first, moving there because it's kind of scary over there. Okay, so one evening we thought, we'll just see if everything's okay, and we walked outside and we saw things. Okay, and during the day, I would see these men coming in to work with the landlord. Okay, they looked like dead. I mean, white, pale. I mean, walking like the living dead. Okay, so I thought, that was kind of freaky. Okay, one day my landlord was fixing something in the house and said, I says, I hear something in the basement, okay? He says, oh, okay. He opened the door about a little bit, the basement door, and took a big stick and hit something, okay? It was a big groundhog. Then they asked me if I wanted to eat it, put it on my kitchen table. If I wanted the meat from, after he killed it.
Wow.
I said, oh, man, something's wrong here. I was kind of scared of the landlord and the landlady, too, because they had these men coming in and out all the time. We had these chickens. We bought some chickens and put them in the chicken coop, okay? And one morning we woke up and guess what? All the chickens were dead, and one was hanging from the fence. Yeah, it was scary as crap. Okay, so then one day, I couldn't believe it. I said, oh, my God almighty, I think we should move there. He said, no, it's just a coincidence. Maybe it was a animal out there that killed it or something, okay? But then one day the dogs wouldn't. I mean, they were yelping and yelping and yelping and yelping. And the cat we had a cat inside the house. She was screaming like something was killing her, okay? And the next morning, and then the next morning, guess what? We found her dead. She was like scared to death. I mean, it looked like she was terrified. And it was horrible. Okay, so we thought nothing of it still. Okay, so one night we're laying down in bed and we're looking at the stars and everything. It was a nice, happy night, Little scary, but happy night. Okay, all of a sudden we hear, I'm serious. I'm telling you the truth. People probably think I'm a nut, but we heard, ooh. And it got louder and louder and louder and louder until the whole house shook.
The whole house shook?
Yeah. It was the freakiest thing we ever heard. And then it completely stopped. So the next couple nights after that, we had this party, okay? And we had his parents over and his family over there. And it was, it was getting to be dinner time. It was getting dark. And all of a sudden, all the lights went out. I was, oh, shoot. Something's wrong here. Okay, so my brother-in-law and my husband went outside, and there was the, what do you call those wires? That electric wires were hanging. Okay? Glad, thank God, my husband and my brother-in-law didn't touch them because they were live wires. Okay? Right. Then, right after that, a couple days later, I said, oh, those people were coming in and out of by the yard and everything, okay, those people that looked like the dead, okay. No movement. I mean, it was weird. Okay, so we were going out. So we had this little yellow Volkswagen with stickers all over it. Okay, so we were going above the top of the hill, and at the top of the hill, we were going down. That big truck with all the wood, I don't know what they were at the bottom of the hill. We went around, okay. When we got on the other side, these big branches were hanging out of our car, okay? They were sitting over there at the bottom of the hill just looking at us with all these eyes. I mean, scariest people I've ever seen.
Yeah, all these workers were sitting in the truck actually looking at her.
Yeah, like they wanted us to go off the road, but they were waiting for us at the bottom of the road.
Wow.
And these people around there, they were freaky too, boy. They were really freaky. They were just like freaky, like they were
sugar and corn type stuff.
Yeah, it was just like they were weird. I mean, we went
like zombies, man.
Yeah, we went to
like zombies. How about you went through the cornfield? That's why all the branches were sticking out of your car, correct?
Yeah, and those people just
didn't... see, y'all had corn seeds. Yeah, they chewed on the corn, boy.
Yeah, I know. And you said something about the spookiest place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in Germany, Bamberg, Germany. Go there, and that's spooky. Very spooky.
There was some. I think there was a place in Germany that was on the top 10. I think number 2 was like New Orleans, and I've heard about. I mean, I used to live out there in Mississippi, whatever, but New Orleans was on there, and they was like, they said that's the number 1 in America, but number 1 in the world was in Paris, France.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Yeah, in Germany too. There's some strange places.
Yeah.
They got castles out there with these gargoyles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean gargoyles in the, and they got little places where they bury people, and they have little bars in these basements and everything. Don't go there.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from,
Yes,
you know. Yeah,
and that's crazy, and that's what, because gargoyles are supposed to be like the protectors or whatever. That's what I was, always heard in different scenarios from different people and doing different research or whatever. But I got some contradictory stories on, the whole Halloween and how it got started and stuff like that. Of course, they both kind of. Go ahead.
We had these ghosts when I was growing up. These three mischievous ghosts. They would turn on the washer, turn on water. They would throw things at you when you were floating across the air, and it would hit you in the head or something like that. No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Now you have an issue when you had experiences when you were a kid, and it sounds like you had experiences when you got grown and married. So that I heard certain entities kind of follow people around too. So I mean,
that's what I was worried about. I was scared that. I thought about that. I really did.
Like when you got that house, like you didn't like research like the history on the house or anything like that. Like, did anybody die in it?
I don't know, but yeah, it was creepy there though.
I don't know how spiritual or anything you are. Did y'all get it christened or even bless your own? I've had experiences, in different apartment complexes, and and it was like it wasn't until I blessed the house or says a prayer or something like that till stuff was not right. So every place I've moved ever since this one apartment complex that I lived in like about 9 years ago, I always make sure prayer says somehow it's blessed whoever's living with me or whatever. We got to bless the house because
Yeah, you even take holy water and bless the house. That's a good idea too. We've done that.
Yeah, I ain't have no holy water, but I sure said some prayers, and it worked. You know what I'm saying? It definitely worked because man, it was crazy, man. It was weird stuff going on,
And the next house we moved in Indiana too, that was a freaky one too. I mean, we moved in there. The whole house was different. Every room was different. One was small roofs, one was tall ceilings, small ceilings, little tiny doors. And when I first moved there, the welcome people said, "Don't go out at night." I said, "Well, why not go out at night?" They said, "Well, there's mad dogs out there." So they invited me to this town meeting. I didn't go. No way. Not at night. I didn't even think about it. But there's a lot of freaky things out there.
Oh, yeah. Did now that town that you lived in, where the houses, the people were crazy and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Did y'all just pop up there or y'all just...
We moved over there because his sister lived. His sister lived over there, so we thought, we like the country, why not move there? So we had the baby and we moved there. Okay, and she says, "Oh, we got this nice $100 house. It was gorgeous. I mean, it had a fireplace and everything." I says, "Oh boy, this would be a perfect place for us to live." Oh no, not for long. I think we were there 3 months. And
wow.
Yeah, that was I never saw anything like that. I mean, things really happened over there. Pumpkins wouldn't grow. I mean, we had this big pumpkin, okay? And one of them, it wouldn't grow. I mean, they wouldn't grow. And then we got this real big pumpkin, and somebody ran over it. Yeah. I mean, that's what makes you think about Halloween, It was a scary place.
Yeah, that's real interesting right there. So, I mean, since then, what I'm saying, have you had any other issues in any other of your houses or anything like that?
Haven't you? Okay, in this house where we live now, okay, we smell perfume, we see things move, we hear things. My husband has an antique room, okay, and this antique room, things move in there. They start by themselves. But we're not afraid, We're not really afraid because they haven't done anything to us.
Right.
Why be afraid if they're not going to do anything to you? But we've heard voices, like people talking. We saw figures walk across the hallway upstairs. I think that, like you said, I think they follow you. I think there's some kind of...
I think, you or your husband, y'all got some kind of spiritual connection. Y'all are sensitive to, the different, entities that, obviously, it was crazy because I've been hearing about this thing. It's kind of a little off topic, but I've been hearing about this this method, this theory called quantum jumping. Have y'all heard anything about that?
Yeah,
I heard about that, man.
It's supposed to be really interesting.
Really, I heard about this even growing up, but it just wasn't named this because after reading a little bit about it, it's pretty much the same type of stuff that I heard about growing up. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of ties into it because if you think, I guess the concept of quantum jumping is, you tapping into your subconscious and being able to have a split reality, and basically saying that, by the choices we make, they're I guess there's multiple universes. So there's stuff going on in another dimension or another universe while you're, we're in this, dimension, this universe, whatever. But I guess subconsciously there's another you living out the other decision that you did not make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's kind of weird, but it's very interesting. But at the same time, they meant to say, everybody thought yoga was crazy and ESP and all kind of stuff that is being studied in universities now that is as common, these days. So the guy that created it, they were kind of skeptical to publish his book and all stuff like that. But I was like, well, I've actually heard of some of the concepts, just growing up with, a brother that was really, really blessed in a spiritual enlightenment at a very young age. So I've heard some of the terminology, through him, at a young age. So I was just like, okay, well, this is not like, all that abnormal to me because they just put it in a different way. And it can kind of make sense because they're like, they're talking about like even in your dreams or whatever, sometimes you see stuff or whatever, So it was like, that's supposed to be your subconscious right there. So
yeah, that's
I might check it out. You know what I'm saying? Because what do we got to lose? So I'm just like,
yeah. Have you ever had a dream and then you wake up and you feel like you know what you dreamt, and then something happens the next day or the next day after that, where that dream comes like kind of true?
Oh yeah, I've had a dream that recently came true. Something that I dreamt months ago.
Yeah.
So,
see.
And and you know how they say you don't remember your dreams, or I remember all my dreams but I guess we dream so much is what they're saying is that we dream so much that I guess you only remember, I guess, the last couple dreams or the most shocking dreams or something like that. But I
still remember a dream that I went to a Halloween trick-or-treating, okay, and I saw this big witch, okay. When I came home, she followed me home. And I saw the same lady on my porch.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. No, seriously. I didn't answer the door.
Man, I would have answered the door with a shotgun, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But no, I'm a real though. It was probably smart because I know we've had Rajiv on here before, and I know he had some episodes where people were like following him, and he could tell like something was wrong. But man, I've kind of got a sense too, and I think it's through the spirit world too that I can kind of tell, like, when, like, there's, like, you know, when I say witches, of course I'm not talking about the people with the stick nose and the broom and all that, whatever, but, you know, certain, you know, evil forces are around,
people.
you know. Yeah.
Certain people, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and
that.
that's just because I think a lot of my family members, you know, they've been into, you know, the whole spiritual warfare thing, and, you know, when you're involved in that, you know what I'm saying, you guys, they you know, they battle witches and all kind of stuff like that, you know.
You grew up with
it.
You
know, they have a sense, you know, they have this sense where, you know, they can sense each other. They could be in a room full of people, you know what I'm saying? And if, you know, you're a witch and, you know, you're, or what they call, some of them are called prophets or whatever, you're a prophet or whatever, they know instantly, like, okay, this person is in the room. You know,
that's good.
This person, yeah, so, I mean, it's, and like I said, I can pick up on people's auras, but I can tell when, you know, some people are just flat out evil, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You know, and I'm not talking about, you know, just, you know, somebody that's just having a bad day or a bad mood or something like that, but you could just tell when somebody is just flat out, you know, this person is not right.
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a big bad vibe about them, man. You know, I can pick up on that sometimes with some people too. You know, if they're evil, you can actually you can pick up on it sometimes. You feel me? At least I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It depends. You can see it in their eyes sometimes. You can see it in their facial expressions. You can actually just see it.
That, bro, the eyes tell a lot, and this is one thing. Ever since I learned this, you know what I'm saying, I always definitely, especially if I'm trying to talk to somebody, and especially if I'm trying to convince them of something, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna look you in the eye, you know what I'm saying, to let you know, hey, what I'm saying, I ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying, but you know, then you get these people, man. The worst thing you could do is be a person, especially a salesman. If you trying to sell somebody something, the worst thing you could do is talk to me but not look at me. You know?
Yeah.
The moment you start talking to me and you trying to sell me something but you cannot look at me, I'm toning you out. I'm not even really listening to what you're saying. And as far as I'm concerned, the conversation is pretty much, you know, over and done. You know what I'm saying? I might even entertain you for a little bit, but you know, more likely I'm brushing you off, thinking about something, my next move, where I'm about to go, or something like that. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, because more likely, about those kind of people. Most people that can't look you in the eye, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or at least, you know, and I mean, there's different cultures. You know, like I know in the Japanese culture and stuff like that, they don't look people in the face, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But
those are bad.
You're in America, you're American. You want something from me? You better look me in the face.
Definitely,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that.
Cause you will not get it. Hey, B-Mo, what's up, man? You all right? You there?
Yeah, man, I'm just over here soaking it all in, brother. You know, now it's, you know, wise men, they just stay quiet until they got something to contribute, you know?
Oh, okay, yeah, I was just like, I said, he probably working or doing something, man. I know you got some stories, boy.
Yeah, I do. I got a few. But you know, but the lady, she's really laying some stuff down. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just kind of, you know, just sit back and just absorb all this knowledge I'm getting right now. So I'm enjoying it, guys. So just keep on going. I'll jump in when I got something to contribute.
All right, that's what's up. That's what I definitely wanted to open the door, because I know you got some stories. And man, I ain't talked to V, man, so we definitely need to check on him, man. When we get him, man, I usually hear from him. I know he's doing this community service thing, probably still, or whatever. But I wanted him to talk about his Haiti experience again, you know. I know he was over there in Haiti. And that's one thing, man. A lot of people don't realize. There's a lot of history, you know. Especially us being Americans, that, you know, a lot of people, you know, are immigrants to this country. So it's like we mix a lot of culture and a lot of rituals, a lot of folk tales and all that, you know, come from these different countries, and And, you know, especially people from the islands and stuff like that. I've got many people I know from Jamaica and, you know, Puerto Rico and Barbados and, you know, just different, you know, islands and stuff like that that bring their own, you know, way of thinking and culture and stuff like that. And it meshes with the American, you know, the American people and it actually makes up, you know, some of their history, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Italians and stuff like that coming over there. I mean, it's so much. If we think about it, there's like a lot of these things, even, you know, Halloween itself, you know. I mean, it's Americanized, but, I mean, it was brought over, you know, from other countries, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
definitely, man.
I think it was my family that brought it over, too.
Yeah, really. Now, one thing I did notice, too, in the history is Minnesota, I forget what part, I think it's Oconee, Minnesota, they claim to be the number one for, you know, the name Trick or Treat, and actually being the trick or treat connoisseur and Halloween capital. And of course, they say, you know, Massachusetts, you know, would argue with them because of, you know, the whole Salem stuff. But then again, those stories now, when it comes to Salem and, you know, the witch hunt, that seems to be the evil side of Halloween. And then what these people are representing in Minnesota is not so much the evil side. It's almost, you know, they're saying, you know, it was a pagan type of event, but it was actually religious stuff tied into it.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy because I can just let y'all know a little bit of information. There's a lot of stuff, so I don't want to really be sitting here and just reading to y'all, you know what I'm saying? But basically they're saying, you know,
there's good
Halloween,
ghosts and bad ghosts.
Basically. And they're saying, you know, Halloween, of course, is the evening before All Hallows Day or All Saints Day on November 1st. So after the Romans conquered the Celts in 43 A.D., they adopted many of their festivals and incorporated them into their own religious celebration. All Hallows Day was once such example, originally the day that celebrated numerous pagan festivals, but Pope Gregory III would eventually designate November 1st to mark the Christian feast of All Saints Day, which had moved from May 13th. So they switching dates and stuff around, you know what I'm saying? So according to the church, a day started at sunset, which is why celebration typically started on October 31st, the eve of the holiday, All Hallows Day. Now, one of the most pagan celebrations was Samhain, which is a Celtic holiday which marked the end of the harvest and the end of summer. Samhain is sometimes also regarded as the Celtic New Year. Celts believe this was a very important day to celebrate, as this day when two worlds, the living and the dead, came together. Spirits were believed to be mischievous and cause trouble, sometimes damaging crops. So the Celts would leave food, gather together, and set huge bonfires of burning crops, believing the light would drive away evil spirits. Sometimes they lit candles or carved lanterns out of vegetables, such as squash, to light the way for good spirits. Now, in America, those lanterns would be carved out of pumpkin, hence how we got the name jack-o'-lantern.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Now, there are also some accounts of people making animal sacrifices to Celt deities and even dressing in costumes made of animal hides to fool evil spirits. These days, Samhain is celebrated more as a harvest festival, but still uses many of the same rituals. Now, they're moving on to like the the 1800s, and pretty much talking about the European immigrants who brought their rituals and costumes with them to America. There are actually few accounts of Halloween in colonial America history due to part of the large Protestant presence in the northern colonies and their strict religious beliefs. However, down in the southern colonies, where larger, more mixed European communities had settled, there are some accounts of Halloween celebrations mixing with Native American harvest celebrations.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is
wow.
That's
really
shit, if I see fucking man, people dressed up in animal carcasses, man, I'd be freaked the fuck out, man. I'd be like, what the fuck is that shit, man? Back in the 1800s and 1700s and shit like that, man. I would have been freaked the fuck out at that shit, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now I'm gonna skip on to now in the 1900s they pretty much talk about pretty much the same thing or whatever, but it's got a little more traditional, the English and the Irish traditions. Children adopted the practice of guising and would dress up in costumes, but they're only isolated references to children actually going door to door asking for food or money during Halloween. You know, the poor would, I guess, go around asking for food and money. So,
well, I'm going to have to go for a while because my phone's going dead.
Well, hey, we appreciate you hanging out with us and definitely sharing your story.
Oh, you're welcome. And you have a nice Halloween, too.
Hey, you as well. Be safe out there.
Bye, bud.
Hey, see you later, Ma.
Well, yeah, man, that's the whole trick-or-treat, man. I found some interesting stuff on, you know, how trick-or-treat started. They're saying despite the good natures of some people, Halloween pranks and mischief had become a huge problem in the 1920s and 1930s, mostly because the pranks often turned into vandalism, property damage, and even physical assault. Bad kids,
and even murders and shit like that. I can see that happening, man. Even nowadays, you feel me? I mean, kids do some bad shit nowadays. These kids don't know that their parents don't teach them right, and then they end up doing pranks that hurt people or maim people or hurt animals or hurt different things, man.
Right. Yeah, and they're saying even that, you know, the pranks often turn vandalism, property damage, and even physical assault. Bad kids and even organizations such as the KKK use Halloween as an excuse to engage in criminal activity. So, you know, the schools and communities did the best they could, you know, to curb the whole trick-or-treat. That's why now a lot of the days they have, you know, for the kids, they have the malls open and stuff like that. You know, I remember back in the day, you know, we used to go trick-or-treat, you know, around the neighborhood and stuff like that. And, you know, it was actually more of a trick than, you know, was a treat. So they were kind of extorting people with the whole trick-or-treat thing. Like, okay, you ain't giving us a treat, you know, then we're going to pull a prank on you or whatever. So that was actually how, you know, it kind of evolved into, you know, into being a better suited holiday, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know, people not putting pranks and not putting stuff. They even made a point that, like, a lot of stuff is so, you know, fear-mongers that, you know, when you heard about, you know, a lot of the razor blades and candy and just different stuff being poisoned, that only, not saying it didn't happen, but it only really happened, you know, a select few times or to a select few people. But when you hear bad stuff like that, you would think that it happened, like, all the time, you know?
Man, I'll tell you a little story about when I was younger. Sorry for interrupting, but I don't want to let it slip my mind. But when I was younger, dude, I used to be a real bad kid, man. I used to do a whole bunch of shit around Halloween, take people's shit, you know, their lighted things. Even around Christmas time, I would take their shit, you know, and make bongs out of them. Me and my friends, we used to be real bad, dude. We used to go bag snatching. You know, I feel bad about it now, man. Being 28 years old and thinking about all that shit I did back, you know, from the age of 7 probably all the way up to up until about 18 years old, man. But,
right.
yeah, we used to do a whole bunch of fucking crazy shit at Halloween. We used to have Halloween parties, little bonfires, like you were saying, man, just chilling out, you know, smoking up, drinking. You know, we were young and shit, man. We used to have beer and all that fucking shit back then. Man, but yeah. Little bag snatching was a fun thing to do, you know, when I was younger. But like I said, I regret that shit now, man. You know, and to the kids out there, man, don't go doing that to little kids, man. You know, this is one of their actually the happiest days of the year for them. So let them enjoy that day and don't take their motherfucking candy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hell yeah.
I mean, there's I mean, I know there's so many crazy things, man, that happen, and you know, and another good thing that I was seeing too was that, you know, for the most part, you know, it started out as a positive. It's basically a celebration, you know. But then for some odd reason, certain people, you know, would use that, you know, to do evil. Now, I cannot deny, though, that the evil people and evil spirits in this world use that day as their, not even that day, but, you know, pretty much the whole month. Now, I looked up this satanic calendar, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to read y'all a couple things of what goes on during this month of October, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, the satanic side of, you know, the Halloween, you know what I'm saying, which
different cultures, man. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, to me, you know, for the average person, you know, they were like, okay, a lot of this stuff is just off the wall, but like I said, it's, I'm not saying I heard everything, but there's not too much that, you know, surprises me. There's really not, you know what I'm saying? So let's say, okay, on the satanic calendar on October, from October 22nd to the 29th, sacrifice preparation, kidnapping, holding, and ceremonial preparation of person for human sacrifice. 28th through the 30th, Satanist high unholy days related to Halloween, human sacrifices. 31st, All Hallows Eve, Halloween. One of the two most important nights of the year for the satanic culture. Attempts are made to break the bond which is keeping the doors to the underworld closed. Blood and sexual rituals, sexual associations with demons, animal and human sacrifice, male or female. Now, and this is just in October, but if you, man, I went through the whole calendar year. I mean, dude, pretty much from what they're saying, they're stating, most of the stuff they do is a lot of blood rituals, dismemberment. Check this out, January 7th, St. Nine-Ball Day, blood rituals, dismemberment, animal and human sacrifices.
That's ridiculous, man. That just makes me sick to my stomach, dude.
And you know, they talking about like eating people and all kind of stuff, drinking the blood of people to invoke certain entities and spirits. Now, what they're trying to do is, like they said, they're trying to open the key to the underworld. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to, you know, pretty much mix the dimensions. Because, you know, like I said before, you know what I'm saying, it's supposedly, you know, different dimensions, you know. So, like, right now, we're sitting in one dimension, and that's how a lot of people wind up seeing ghosts or hearing ghosts or running into different types of entities, is because somehow these dimensions kind of get crossed up.
Are you saying they're in a different dimension or a different time dimension, per se?
Pretty much.
Are they in a different time? Like, are they like per se in the 1800s and more in the present time right now? Is that what you're saying? Or in a different dimension totally?
Kind of both.
I mean, we have our dimension on Earth here, and then there's another.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than, it's supposedly more than, it could be a lot of dimensions. But
yeah.
I just know from what I learned growing up that in a spiritual form, when it comes to like a lot of the whole demons and stuff like that, the reason why they do, they say they're demon possessions or whatever, is slowly demons can only live through another person, through a human body,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? With their bodiless soul, you know what I'm saying?
That's why there's exorcism.
Yeah, they're bodily souls that want to live again, right? So the only way they can do that is through, a human body. So they somehow get into weak, and I wouldn't necessarily say weak, but they say for the most part, it's some kind of people that are, either invoked them in or. I was watching this special on the History Channel, man, about, back in the Salem witch hunt days or whatever, and how, how people would get possessed back then, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy, but supposedly just like through them, that they can only go through a human form or whatever, and they can take over that, body, and but how they would fiercely fight, was through dreams and stuff like that, and which kind of makes sense because they're saying, that's your subconscious, and like we were talking about that whole quantum jumping thing real quick, that's your subconscious, so that's almost like it's a different reality what they're saying, but to me it's almost like a different dimension, and supposedly, and I told people a long time ago, it was funny, I was in the military. Quick story for you, I was in the military, and I was just telling people some of my experiences or whatever, and, we were in the dorm, what I'm saying, it was at night or whatever, and I just started telling them a little bit about the spirituality stuff and about my brother and cousins, just being involved in spiritual warfare and how they used to fight demons and stuff like that, and they were just saying at any given time, in the room that you're sitting in right now, there could be, a whole host of demons in the room. But by the spiritual laws, you can't see them or you can't interact with them because you're in a different dimension than they are.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
I guess what these satanic, back to what I was originally talking about, that what these satanic, type of people are trying to do is make these dimensions, make these dimensions cross or open a gate, to where the dimensions are actually be mixed, to where, they could walk on Earth and, vice versa, so they could cause chaos.
Yeah, fuck that.
Not to say that we don't already have, not to say that we don't already have some kind of chaos already, but, I guess they want to cause more, So.
Yeah, that's definitely the word, brother. REM sleep is actually where all your good dreams start coming in good. You get what I'm saying? You actually can remember most of them dreams, and that's when all the fucking fucked up shit can happen. You feel me? After that 4 hours, once you get after that 4 hours of sleeping, that's when all the shit can help to break loose in your mind, man. You can have all these off the fucking wall dreams that you remember, and it's just crazy sometimes the dreams I have.
Yeah, so you gotta think, man. Like I said, after reading a little bit about that quantum jumping, I'm like, man, that's very interesting, dude. Because it's like, they're saying you should tap into your subconscious. So if people are tapping into the subconscious, finding out, because I guess in their ultimate reality, they were the superstar. They were the successful businessman or businesswoman, you know what I'm saying? Because they took another path in the subconscious, in the alternate reality. So what they're doing is they're supposedly tapping into their subconscious and seeing what their other self is doing, and they're taking that back to their actual reality and, you know, pretty much capitalizing off of that in their normal reality.
Freaky.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting. But, you know, we know the mind, man, is, you know, we don't use only a certain percentage of our brain, so, you know, we don't know what we could do, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. So, I just thought, man, that's a whole interesting concept that just is really, it just really kind of, you know, just makes you think, you know.
So do you have any stories of anything that happened, you know, in your past?
Well, man, one of the stories, man, and this is the only time, you know, I didn't know what I was dealing with at the time. I was growing up living in Mississippi at the time, you know, a youngster, probably about 10, yeah, about 9 or 10. And, you know, I was a military dependent. I don't like to use the form brat because I sure wasn't spoiled. But at any rate, you know, we used to go to, me and my brothers, I had two brothers, an older brother and a younger brother. We used to go to the youth center. And, you know, we used to go to the summer camps, stuff like that. And there'd be a lot of other military, you know, kids or whatever. And then there'd be some people, you know, that weren't military from off base and stuff like that. So you get to interact with, you know, all kinds of people from, you know, all different backgrounds and walks of life. So, you know, kids being kids, we playing and stuff like that. And next to the rec room, you know, we play ping pong and shoot pool and stuff like that. And behind there was like a snack bar. And the snack bar wasn't all that big, but it had a little kitchen in there, fridge, but then it had like a little, you know, when it's closed or whatever, it had a little gated thing or whatever. And you know what I'm saying, it was locked for the day, right? So we could still play in there, we just couldn't, you know, you couldn't order no food because one of the best things, they had little pizzas and stuff like that. That was probably the best stuff that they used to serve. But, you know, it was closed for the day. But we were still, you know, we were allowed to play games, and they had all kind of, you know, board games, Monopoly, Shoot and Ladder, and Life. And
How old were you actually during that time?
Say again?
How old were you actually?
I was either about 9 or 10. I was probably about 9. Okay. 9 or 10. So, you know, they were like, hey, you know, it was a group of us, you know, a few girls, a few boys. I said,
did you ever sneak any food when it was closed?
Say again?
Could you actually sneak food when that little stand was closed?
Nah, because I mean it was like metal bars. It was locked, and it was you know, it was new facility. That portion was kind of a new facility, but it was locked. You know what I'm saying? It had a door. There was a door portion that was kind of right in front of the fridge, and then, you know, the counter had these little metal shutter bars that they pulled down. You know, so we couldn't get in the joint. You know what I'm saying? So we took our games. You know what I'm saying? We decided we were going to play a board game, you know. And this little chick, I don't remember her name or whatever, I think it was a little, you know, white, Caucasian, you know, chick. And I guess she was the one that picked the game. So I want to say it was anywhere from about 5, it was about 6 of us maybe. And so we're like, all right, we'll play this game with you, right? So, you know, I didn't know the name of the game, man, but I know it just had, had these letters and stuff, and it had this little pointer thing, you know what I'm saying? And all I know is they told us all to put our hands over this thing, and we would say different chants and stuff like that. And all I know is, it started moving and stuff like that. We'd ask these questions. So with our hands on it being on it, started moving and spelling out people's names and stuff like that.
Well, a Ouija board.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was a Ouija till, later on. Dude, just think about it. This Ouija board was in a youth department game. This was part of the regular games. This was up there with Monopoly, Chutes and Ladders, and all that stuff.
Damn, that's crazy as hell.
Yeah.
What's that doing there? How'd that get there?
Yeah, dude, it was, bruh. I was just like, and like I said, I didn't know any better, so, we playing this game, man, and then we had these chicks asking me weird questions and stuff like that. Man, it was like asking questions about people and saying that such a person was dead and this person was going to die, and they were naming names. And, and like some of these girls that were playing with us, they started getting upset because it was like people that they really knew. I didn't know none of them, but it was like people that they really knew,
You sure
so
somebody wasn't playing a prank? You sure it was actually doing it?
I mean, you got to think. Most of us had our hands on the thing. So it was like, it kind of supposedly goes by itself. But you kind of just read what it says. But, I mean, even if they were playing a prank, how would they know some of this information? I mean, these girls were, really upset and, crying type stuff. But I know one thing, we asked one last question because everybody was getting all creeped out. And all I know is we looked back. We heard a noise. It was like, woof. And it was in the stove, bro. The pilot light came on, dude. And we all looked up. We were like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? We're like, oh, no.
That's
man,
crazy.
we took off,
crazy
man.
Shit, man.
We took off. We never played that game again, bro.
Did anything else happen? Just the stove pilot like loud? Was it loud where you could really hear it?
Say again?
Was it loud like you would really hear it? When the pilot light went on, was it real loud where everybody could hear it, or was it like you could barely hear it?
No, we all heard it because it was behind us. You know what I'm saying? Like we were sitting down at the tables, kind of like in that little snack room lobby. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it wasn't a very big place. So once we heard it, you had to stand up to look to see what it was. Once we stood up and looked to see what it was, you saw that light or that little flame, like how did that happen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, it was already locked up. Nobody was back there. It was crazy, man.
Crazy shit. There was probably all kind of entities around you guys at that time, man. That's why the thing was moving. Those girls were crying and shit. They knew something was there, man. You feel me?
Yeah,
after all that thing, all that shit that is spelled out, man, I would have been tripping.
Dude, and like I said, we were, young. We didn't know no better, man. And it was like, I didn't find out until I was grown that, that board is like some witchcraft. That's meant for like witchcraft type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. And I was like, wow, man. But another thing we did in that same DUI place, DUI. Did I say DUI? DUIA. That was what it called. It was like, I guess, Department of Youth, Authority or something like that. But it was, for the base. And we used to play that game in the bathroom called Bloody Mary. Remember that game?
Yeah, I've heard about it before.
Where you turn off the lights and Everybody gets in there. And it's funny because, growing up we played Bloody Mary, and then, years later that movie Candyman came out. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Candyman. I was like, man, that sounds like Bloody Mary. That's what we
Yeah. That's a twist off that, man. They just try to make some money on it.
Yeah. So it's like, we used to say Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror. Man, and I'll be the first one to admit, I don't think I ever saw no crazy lady, but we sure acted like we were so scared. But I sure wouldn't say it. Don't get me anywhere else. I would not say that 3 times. And I would not be around anybody who said they want to say it. They were laughing away. I was like, man, don't say that around me.
Actually, my sister had a weird experience saying that in the mirror, man. It was, I think it was actually around Halloween time. And she was in the bathroom, and we were like, she had the door open and shit when we were standing outside of the bathroom, and she was looking in the mirror, but it was almost dark, to pitch dark.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it like 3 times, and then when she turned on the light, her face, it just looks like she had the scariest fucking, like she's seen something out of the fucking, really just something out of the X-Files, man. She had the scariest fucking look on her face, man, like she got scared to death. I mean,
really?
The look on her face, she was scared as hell. She was like, man, blah, 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 this and that. I can't really remember the whole story, man. It's been a while, but it was freaky as hell, dude.
Man, that's crazy, man. I got some more stories, though, man.
Hell yeah, go on with them, man. I like hearing your stories, man. They're interesting.
As I got a little older, there was we had moved, and we had moved to Oklahoma, Midwest City, Oklahoma, man. And the area we stayed at, they had this place called Spencer, Oklahoma. I haven't tried to Google this lately, but you might want to try to Google it. But they had this place, Spencer, Oklahoma, was probably 5 minutes on probably west Midwest City or whatever, where we lived at. So it was just right around the corner or whatever. But they had the Spencer Church of Satan or whatever in that little city. Yeah, Spencer was a weird city, man. But now I knew for a fact we grew up in elementary and junior high. There was this family, and they were called the Grahams, and there was 2 twin sisters, Kathy and Carol. They were almost like the ringleaders. They had an older brother, I think around the same age. His name was I forget his name, but the dude that was in my grade, his name was Robbie. And then they had there was a gang of them, dude. And, they were back in my day, they were called hoods. You know what I'm saying? They were the hoods. They wore all the death metal, Metallica type stuff, the spikes and stuff around their, the tore up jeans, and they always was in black, man. And
so were they your friends, or you just seen them all the time?
Nah, they really. I definitely couldn't say that. I definitely didn't call them our friends. Everybody just knew that they were the school hoods, and most of the people that tried to hang out with them, and everybody knew that they pretty much worshiped the devil. They were devils.
Damn.
They were devil worshippers, right?
Damn.
Now, every now and then, some dumb bimbo, which I forget this girl's name, but she was just shoulder type,
Yeah.
They were some mean kids or whatever. And I was real popular because I was in sports or whatever, and I only had one little, and it really wasn't an altercation because this one dude, he had just got there. He came from another school, and he wound up being a pretty good friend of mine. He was the first one that me and him did a talent show together or whatever. Well, he used to kind of get picked on or whatever. So, and everybody, how it is. You got the jocks, you got the, the preps. You know what I'm saying? And you got the hoods, and you got all the other
people. You got the
yeah.
You know,
So
the different cultures, man, the different, there's a, like you said, the jocks, the preps, the gothic people, the darker people, you know, just a lot of everything.
And see, and everybody pretty much knew their place. So they stayed in their lane. As long as you didn't mess with them, they pretty much didn't, you know, stayed under the radar or whatever. Well, one day, I don't know what happened, but my boy either ran into that dude named Robbie, which was in our grade. He was one of the brothers. And from that day on, they just had it in for my dude, man. Every time they would see that, they would always be messing with him, man. And so I know one day I said something to him, whatever, that they need to leave him alone or whatever, you know. And they pretty much did, man. But this one girl was in my older brother's grade or whatever. She was a bimbo. I want to say her name was Nancy or something like that. But she was kind of a bimbo type chick. And like I said, everybody kind of knew, you know, that they were pretty adamant about it. I mean, they didn't go around, devil, this and that, whatever. But everybody pretty much, you know, knew that they worshiped the devil. So now this was the twin sisters. They were older. They were in my brother's grade or whatever. And so they're in class, and this chick, you know, just somebody kind of, you know, juiced her up to mess with the twins about, you know, their beliefs and stuff like that or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, which, I mean, these girls, the way they looked too, they were like very tomboyish, bruiser-looking broads too. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah. And this little, you know, this other girl was like a little, like she couldn't even hurt a flea or whatever. So it was like, for her to even talk to Kathy and Carol and them was just like, you know, pretty much dumb anyway. But she decided to challenge her. So she said, "Okay, you don't believe me, huh?" So because you know what, I think one of them, I think Kathy, whatever, used to be pretty much claimed she was a witch. So she didn't believe her. So she was like, "Okay, prove it to me." She said, "Okay." Well, they put their desks together, and she said, "All right, give me your hand." And she gave her hand. She just held her hand, both hands, and she like, "Look at me in my eye." And she said, "Okay." So they were just sitting there, and like the class was watching. And she said, "I guarantee you, I'll make you cry." And so everybody said, "Oh, what, you gonna hit her, this and that, or whatever?" Dude, in about an average of a couple minutes, this chick started bawling, and I believe she had to leave school, and she just started looking her in her eyes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the chick was already scary anyway. You know what I'm saying? They were blonde. They were real kind of big girls. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they looked like dudes. If you see their brothers, they look like their brothers. You know what I'm saying? But and it was like, man, they look manly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fucked up, though, man. Maybe they were really witches, man. Maybe that's what they were. Yeah, maybe they were possessed.
Oh, I have no doubt, because, like I said, my brother was into that spiritual stuff, so he was like, man, yeah, I don't mess with them. They don't mess with me. I don't mess with them. You know what I'm saying? So the girl was asking for it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what she did, something with the mind or something like that, man. But man, that girl was like she lost it. You know what I'm saying? And I remember she had to go home. I don't even think she ever came back, bro.
Damn, that's fucked
and
up.
I'd have to talk to my brother and see if he could remember, you know, if she even came back. But more than likely, something they did something to her. But I think they used to go to that church, that devil worshiping church or whatever, man. But oh man, there was some crazy stories, man, that some of my other friends had told me about that church. But with this van, dude, and I'm gonna try to remember it as much as possible. But you know, this church had them dogs, man, these crazy looking dogs, you know, with them devil eyes, man, that used to guard the the church. They were like guard dogs, like evil-ass guard dogs, you know. And, you know, people used to try to, you know, they used to hear about the church, so they used to go try to, you know, in high school and stuff, they used to go try to, you know, play pranks and, oh, yeah, let's all go out there and, you know what I'm saying, see what they're doing, man, and, you know, and run and, you know what I'm saying, and drive. Well, man, I had some friends that would do that, man, and they wound up getting chased, dude. And yeah, and they was like,
were they statues?
Say again?
Were these real dogs or were they statues?
No, they were supposed to be real dogs.
Mm.
Real. Damn. They were like Doberman.
So they actually tried to play some pranks on these dogs, or the brothers themselves?
But nah, they were and they said it's funny because when you go out there to get to the church, the road has like these trees that arch over, you know, from one side to the other. And it's like they have like no damn leaves on them or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, it's like really creepy, you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture, you know, picture the church in my head with them dogs, man, because that sounds pretty freaky to me. And if I ever saw that dude, I wouldn't want to go by that bitch. I wouldn't have been your shit. I wouldn't even actually, if I was your friend, I wouldn't tell you to go to that fucking place. If you were my enemy, I wouldn't tell you to go to that place. So, you know.
Oh, dude, that was trust me, man. I had many times I could have went, but I sure didn't go. Because one of my other best friends, I think he either went out there with some people, but didn't go all the way or whatever. But because they got chased, man, they went out there, and I guess they were having some kind of ceremony, dude. And they decided they wanted to try to go out there and just kind of investigate, man. But them people knew that they were there, dude. And all I remember is they told me it was this black van that they got the hell out of there, and it was this black van with like a red stripe that was following them. But the crazy thing is that this van that was following them wound up passing them at the same time. It was like, you know, first they saw it behind them, but it didn't pass them from the front. It didn't pass them from the back. It passed them from the side. You know what I mean? From in front of them. After it was already behind them, you know, it never sped up. You know, to get up. It was like it was like, you know, the it was like 2-lane highway type joint. You know what I'm saying? One incoming, you know what I'm saying, and one outgoing. So this thing is behind them, and then all of a sudden they look back and it's not behind them anymore. But then, you know, minutes later they see it passing them from the, and they said it kept doing that.
Damn. Over and over again.
Yeah. No, I was like, man, I was tripping out just hearing the story or whatever, man. It was like, man, it was messing with them, man. They were just like,
that would have messed with me too. It's like, what the hell does this van keep on passing me for, man? What the hell is it doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
from different ways too. Like, how's it going one way and then passing me from the other way? You feel me? And doing that over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And what the fuck for? Did they see who was in the van itself?
Nope. Because they had them smoked out windows.
Damn.
Never saw who it was. But man, I just go back and wonder. I need to talk to my brother about this too. I just go back and wonder, be like, man, whatever happened to Kathy and Carol and them? You know, because I think, you know, they wound up moving away, man. I think.
I would have too. Shit. You know, I would have too, man. All the shit that happened with them around that area, where you're saying, man, that's fucked up. You got any more stories actually with them in it?
Nah, I don't have none with them in it, but I still got some more stories.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. So everybody actually knew they were the goth type, they were the devil worshippers and shit, right?
Yeah, and then they had the little wannabes, and I think this girl, I'm pretty sure this girl she wound up being possessed because they had this one girl who used to hang around them, and she was kind of a big girl or whatever, but, you know, her name was Casey. I'll never forget this because, like, she was in wood shop or whatever. And people used to mess with them, man, and be like, well, we don't believe you, whatever. So I remember people used to mess with this girl named Casey, and they used to go behind her in the hallway and be like, Jesus, 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 and start just saying all kind of stuff to piss her off, you know what I'm saying? Well, it was this one dude, he was always a little jokester or whatever, man. And I think, man, one day he caught her on a bad day, but all I know, man, is I came out of class in the hallway, man, and it was the outside portion of my junior high because, we had these trailers too, because we didn't have enough, school classes for everybody, so, workshop was being held in one of these trailers or whatever. And I remember on the outside part, after the hallways, you have an outside part, and it connected through the trailer or whatever, and then going into the main building. So we walked in, me and a couple of friends or whatever. All I know was a gang of people just rush out the damn trailer, dude, and people screaming and shit, Yeah. And so we're trying to figure out what the hell is going on, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then I talked to one of my homeboys, I think it was Chris Freeman or whatever, and he came out, running and stuff like that because he was on the football team with me or whatever. He's like, man, that's damn crazy. That damn Casey, she done turned crazy. She done turned into the devil.
Damn.
So I'm like, man, what the hell you talking about? He said, yeah, man. It was, I forget who, I want to say my boy Anthony with it. And this is crazy. This dude, Anthony, he was so crazy. He was just do some of the dumbest things. He was like, if you ever seen, like, Dumb and Dumber and, what's the old Jim Carrey? He could be like a Jim Carrey type dude at that age, you know what I'm saying? He was just a jokester or whatever. And I think he was messing with her. But he was like, man, this girl done turned into the devil. And I guess she threw, like, some of the sledgehammers. She was throwing hammers at people and all kind of stuff, man. He said, man, she turned into the devil.
Did her eyes change and shit? I mean, did she actually just start throwing shit? Just like, was she having a bipolar attack? Or was she just having a fucking almost like there was
no, see,
almost like there was an entity inside of her, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it like. She was possessed. Like that, so we call it bipolar and stuff like that. And I'm like, nah, it was deeper than that. That it was like you said, an entity that had taken over her or whatever. Like she was possessed. She started speaking in all kind of crazy languages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
native tongue. Goddamn, man, fuck that. So she actually knew these two girls, correct? She actually knew them, or was friends with them?
Yeah, she started hanging out with. She was hanging out with them. It was funny, you know what I'm saying? She was hanging out with them.
Maybe they did something.
Because if you think about it, those type of people, they feed on loners. People that are really, I don't want to say call them nobody because everybody's actually somebody. You know what I'm saying? But the people that don't really have no friends, and they're looking for somebody to identify with and look up to. You know what I'm saying? They prey on those type of people because to them they're weak and they need somebody. And she fit right in. You know what I'm saying? She was like that, hanging out with them or whatever. And sure enough, people caught on to that, so they started kind of messing with them. You know what I'm saying? And I guess she had enough of enough. But yeah, we never saw her after that either, man. So,
sound like she went ape shit though. Sound like those girls, those two girls that she was looking up to, actually maybe did something to her, man. Maybe put some kind of different entity inside of her, or brought her to a different fucking path in life. I don't know what the fuck, but that sounds really bizarre to me.
And another reason why I know this too, a lot of this stuff to be stuff like that to be true is because now my brother started going. He got so busy, he started going to these different schools, like this place called Life Christian Center, whatever. And they were if you call what they call them, they call these people like on fire for God. That's what it's like. It ain't the normal type of church, you know what I'm saying? Ain't a normal Baptist, Methodist church, whatever. They, they do a lot of dancing and jumping and healing, and, they used to do, like, demon possession and stuff like that. They used to do, all that type of stuff. Stuff you don't normally hear about in the average church, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that now you start seeing on TV and stuff like that, they were already involved in all that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, and another one of my friends, I didn't find this out till a couple years later. I actually used to play baseball and basketball with this dude. Well, his mom was a witch, and she started out as a bad witch. She practiced black magic, and she changed her life because my brother actually met her at that church, later on. And I was like, it was crazy that he told me, he was like, man, did you know Levi such and such mom used to be a practice black magic witch, you know what I'm saying? Now she's a good witch, whatever. So, and they would use that to learn, different things, about, the dark side too. They would use people like that change their lives over and stuff like that. So, and I was just like, man, I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I was like, no, I never would have thought, you know what I'm saying? Because you see, you see the dude, this dude is just a cool, calm, collected type dude. You would never think nothing of it, you know what I'm saying? So he probably didn't even know, but,
See, I can understand white magic, black magic. If you want to study that, man, you must be really an evil motherfucker possessed by the motherfucking devil to actually practice that shit, witchcraft. There's a good few, like I said, white magic. You feel me?
But you know what? The thing about it is, I mean, you don't even have to be, to that state yet. But that's what it might take you to. But what it is it's a lot of, if you ever seen, you ever remember the story of the devil and Tom Walker?
I'm pretty sure I have.
Hello?
Yeah, you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. You ever remember that story of the devil and Tom Walker?
I never read it, no, but I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read it till, like, man, in college, probably like a couple of years ago, you know what I'm saying? I do a paper on it or whatever. And it's basically like this, and, you can tie this into the music industry because there's definitely ran by a lot of evil cats, man. But, here you got this dude, the average dude that really don't, get along with his wife. His wife is like always just, a pain in his ass or whatever. And, he's got, the property. He's like the real estate dude or whatever. And, I'm just kind of breaking it down in modernized type time or whatever. And this dude is walking through the forest or whatever, and pretty much runs into the devil, but in a not in a horny frog type or however the devil was depicted or whatever, not in that type of image, but he's tempted by this dude. He was like, all right, well, I'll give you this, man. All you got to do is, what I'm saying, when this is done, give me your soul or whatever,
Yeah.
And so all he sees is what he can get right now. He's not worried, he's not concerned about, what it's really going to cost him. You know what I'm saying? All he knows is he can get the riches and get everybody's property and, run.
Yeah, he's going to be rich at the present time, and then he's going to take his soul, and then he's going to lose his life, or he's going to lose his whole sense of self.
Yeah, he loses everything. You know what I'm saying? And
everything.
And that's how it starts. What it is, people get like desperate. They may get in a situation where, well, I don't want to be like this no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like this. So you're actually more susceptible to something, a deal like that. You know what I'm saying? To be like, man, I might as well do that. I ain't got nothing else going right now. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'll pay for it later. You know what I'm saying? But some of them get so enticed and so trapped, you know what I'm saying, that they lose sight, you know what I'm saying, of the long term, you know what I'm saying. They just always been the short term. like I said, and as it gets deeper and deeper, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
And that's what I
say,
think.
for instance, you were gonna sell your soul. Would you actually regret it in the long run? Like per se, you know, you had a family, you got all this shit from being from actually selling your soul, the riches, all the everything you dreamt about, and everything else. Would you actually try to run from it when the devil tried to take your soul, or what would you do?
I mean, first of all, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't do that. That's just
no, I mean, per se, you know, just hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically speaking. I mean, no, because I would know that there ain't no running. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it got that serious. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't. And there's a story, and I think we talked about this on the show one time too.
Okay.
We talked about this, and there's this one rapper. I forget his name, dude, but he was the one. You might have heard about this. I think this was back in the '90s, or whatever. This dude, like, he got caught. He had like ate his girlfriend or something like that.
For real? I don't think I heard about this, but yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, he wound up pretty much saying that, you know, that he thought she was the devil, and the devil was trying to get him, so he know that he was coming for him, so he was trying to get him. He was trying to get him first. You know what I'm saying? And
that's messed up, man. You actually, so he actually thought, you know, she was the devil. Actually, he was the one who was possessed, but he actually thought she was the devil and started eating her, killed her, and ate her.
Yeah, bro. I mean, this dude.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I think he was on some. He was on something. That's nothing. Drugs. You don't realize there's so much stuff that can take you into that subconscious state or to these other dimensions, man. Those hallucinations and psychedelic type stuff or whatever, dude. That's tapping. What you're doing is you're tapping into a side of your brain that you don't know about, that does not get used. You know?
Yeah, I get
tapping into that.
I feel you on that one, bro. I do.
It's tapping into that subconscious, man. I mean, dude, I know people, man. I know a lot of people, man. Especially back in high school, man. They do that acid stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And see, a lot of black people, we weren't really hip on a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I never got involved with that shit, man. But I know a lot of white people, man, that did, man. And dude, a lot of the stuff, man, I know some people have some bad trips, bro. I mean, some trips that
if you're not in the right mood, you're not in the right setting, and you're not around the right people that actually can relax you instead of fucking making you fucking trip hard, you know, you're gonna be in a bad situation. You're gonna have a bad trip from hell.
But see, that's another thing too, though, man. I think when it comes to dealing with drugs and drugs, stuff like that, I mean, if you got a jacked up personality, dude, them hardcore drugs is not gonna make you better.
Yeah, it ain't for people either, man. You gotta have a strong mind to actually participate and be able to fucking control yourself if you take them kind of drugs. You know, all these people that take these fucking drugs are not in the right mind, like you said, in the first place. So.
And then, I mean, like I say, people think they take these drugs to you know, they think it's gonna get them over, but it don't get you over. All you do is, like, you know, it don't get you through nothing. All it does is buy you some time. You know what I'm saying? Buy you some time or make you get. Well, I gotta go get some more because I don't feel like feeling this way. So as long as I stay in this state, your problems ain't changed. You still got the same thing.
Plus you can even go psychotic. You can even go more psychotic and kill somebody or hurt somebody. You feel me?
Exactly. You're just avoiding your problem. Yeah, avoiding your problem. I mean, dude, I pretty much, man, I don't do nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, pretty much the most thing I do, you know, I smoke some weed. I still love some weed. I choose not to do it anymore. I'm not saying I have to quit forever, but I just choose not to do it because I mean, if you ever realize that we have natural dopamine, you know what I'm saying? We got natural high. We have the ability
Yes, we do.
to naturally be high. You know what I'm saying?
And actually, cannabis is actually what opens it up a lot more. You feel me? See, that's the only thing I got into my whole lifetime, man. I've been offered all kinds of drugs underneath the sun, every drug you can imagine, possibly imagine. And I've only really tried the natural ones, which was shrooms, and I tried. I smoke and I tried marijuana. So, yeah, that's the only two I ever tried in my lifetime, man.
I mean, I ain't know. I tried X, just did what I heard about it. And X is cool. And the thing about X, dude, I was like, and we said this many times, you cannot have too much of anything. If you have too much of anything, it's going to mess with you.
Yeah, it's a bad thing. Too much water can kill you. You know, too much of anything, just like you said, man, too much oxygen can fucking kill you. You know what I'm saying? If you have an oxygen mask on and you're getting a full fucking, you're getting blasted with oxygen at a higher rate than 100%, man, you're going to fucking, your lungs are going to fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know what actually happened, but like I said, and like you said, a lot of something is never good.
Yeah, so it's that concept. But people don't, they want to abuse everything. Just like, I had to tell my group, I had this group, Thursday or whatever. And I said, yeah, it's cool. Y'all want to smoke weed, do what you do, you know what I'm saying? And I started being smart about it as I got older. I was like, dude. I said, man, ain't nothing wrong, man. You come home from a hard day's work or whatever, you want to, kick your shoes off, man, and hit you a doobie, man, and just chill out, get you some eat, some snacks or whatever, and fall asleep, later on, you know what I'm saying? Cool. But dude, don't be spending money on your weed and y'all done smoke up all your weed, gotta go get some more weed. You know what I'm saying? Just like, dude, I say you're abusing it. I said, dude, you have to cherish. I said, you know what? I said, I would smoke maybe once or twice a week, and then, by the time it got to the next week, I could savor my weed, you know what I'm saying? I could savor a 20 sack, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not abusing it. For one, it was good stuff. And I could roll some good joints, you know what I'm saying? And be lifted off of that. I was like, but by you abusing it, your tolerance skyrockets. Your tolerance. You're messing up. That's what I'm saying. You're abusing it, so you're actually messing up the whole experience. Because now
have you ever had that time where you had a bag of weed? Okay, you had a quarter of some good weed. Well, you smoked it too fast, and then you got another quarter of the same weed. Okay, and you're still smoking it. You're like, man, I can't get fucked up no more. And then you take a little dime or something else, man, and then you get fucking blasted. It don't have to be better or not. It doesn't matter. But that shit's gonna blast you to fucking the space most of the time because you were smoking that same shit for the past week.
Yeah,
and over and over and over again.
Yeah, if you just chill out. You just chill out. You don't ruin the essence of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, dang. I mean, dude, it'd be to the point where I stopped smoking because I realized, how to do it. Well, I should probably smoke a couple times a month, but every time I smoked, dude, it was never like I couldn't get enough. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I don't need no more. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was. Like, pass that stuff on by me. I'm cool. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. I feel you, man. Later on in life, man, I slowed down a lot, dude. I used to smoke like fucking QP in a week at times, man. And I smoked more than that, man. I probably smoked about, like, maybe, just being serious, probably like 40, 50 pounds since I've been smoking, probably since I was about 10 years old. But ever since I, got older and got more mature and started actually wanting a family and everything else, man, it just calmed down. You get what I'm saying? I take a couple of hits here and there, and it relaxes me. You get what I'm saying? There might be some good-ass shit, but and that good-ass shit is the best shit because you only need like 1 or 2 puffs, man, and then you're good.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, you must got, if you got to smoke this blunt and you got to hit it all this time, you either abusing it or you got some horrible weed. That's just
there's like 1 or 2 hit quitters, man.
So most people are abusers. So I'm like, you can't abuse it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really cherish it. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
You know, they got it for a minute, but they would do that and then they get back into chain smoking and stuff like that. You know, so I'm like, all right, dude. You know, y'all know the deal, so it's up to you to do it or whatever. So now they eventually, you know, they got older now, so now I know one of them knows. You know what I'm saying? The other one, he probably ain't learned, but then again, he probably ain't had no money to get none anyway. So he was always getting it off of my other dude or whatever. So, but I mean, back to what I was saying, man. Those drugs, man, especially those hardcore drugs, man. Any hallucinogens, man. You are playing. You are really leaving yourself open to some.
Yeah, you're pushing your luck, man, when you take them hallucinogens, man, because you don't know what different dimension you can actually go into. There's actually what is it? Salvia divorium, I think it's called. Denivorium.
Yeah, dude, I remember hearing about that probably about 5-6 years ago. That South Beaver stuff, whatever. Yeah, dude, I was like, I remember I was gonna try it, dude, but then they were like, I started reading more about it. I was like, nah, I don't think this is nothing I want to try, buddy.
You're on a different plane. It's like you're in a different fucking dimension, man. The plane, you're on a different fucking plane totally. You're like, I don't know where the fuck you go, man. But I heard a lot of stories of friends that you shouldn't take it ever. If you try it once, never try it again, and don't even try it that once to have to want to try it again. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. It's like, man, you really don't know it, dude. I mean, telling you, I think you're really tapping into that underworld. You know what I'm saying? To tapping into that world and I'm not gonna say that I can't honestly sit here and say that it's all that these other universes and all these alternate realities and dimensions are all bad, but the fact that you don't know, because there are going to be some that are bad, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that you don't know is a crapshoot, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to take that chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me either, brother. Trust me. That's why I never got into that shit, man. I was like, why get into that shit, man, and have your fucking brain, you know, fuck up if it ain't fucked up in the first place? And if you already fucked up, get fucked up more. Well, that's like the stupidest thing you could ever do, man. If you're insane, why put yourself in that boat to actually get more insane? You feel me?
And dude, and now with that X-Men, I mean, the reason why I stopped that, dude, I mean, not only the stuff that I heard about it, because I heard there was heroin in it, you know what I'm saying? No, hell no. And, but that shit was too good. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, hell no. That shit was, I give it, that was too good. And I was just like, you know what? Something like this is too good. I can't do this no more because, dude, if you get hooked on that, which at the time, you know, my girl, you know what I'm saying, we just wanted to try it at the time, you know what I'm saying, and it went from wanting to try it to she was always asking me to get it, you know what I'm saying. I'm just like, see, that's how it starts right there. I was like, nah, you ain't gonna get addicted to this stuff. You're not gonna get addicted, you know what I'm saying. And that's how people do what they do. They start going from 1 pill to 2 pills to 3 pills, you know what I'm saying? And that's why how them people start dying, you know what I'm saying? They want to pop all them pills, you know.
So basically you just tried it once and didn't like it and said, fuck that shit. I ain't fucking taking that shit. And your girl or your friend that was a girl actually continued to actually take more and more pills?
No, I actually tried it more than
Yeah,
once.
yeah. I said you tried it, but you didn't like it.
No, I loved it. That's what I said. That was too good. There was one of them things that's like, okay, this shit is so good that you gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, nah, dude, I would admit that shit was good, dude, because you felt good. I mean, dude, I knew everything that I was doing. You know how people, that's one thing I've never experienced. And I don't know, maybe you could help me out with this, but because I'm mainly not saying black people don't do this, because I've met some, but most of the people that did this that I knew that was white. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they all of a sudden just, I guess they have blackouts. They don't know what they did when they was drinking and, you know, stuff like that, dude. That's one thing. Out of all the drugs and the drinking that I did, I could never say there was a time where I just didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, me either. Man, I was always smart about it, dude. I never actually been caught, man, with weed in my lifetime. And if I ever was in jeopardy of getting caught, man, I was always with friends and we used to run from the popos. But you feel me, man? I always been good with that, man. Even in front of cops, dude, you know, even in front of cops, if you saw a cop, man, and you're smoking a blunt walking down the road, I could actually do that back home in Hammond, Indiana, and Chicago and shit without getting in trouble most of the time.
Yeah, that's how it just, I mean, that's even the old jail thing. You can't act guilty. You act guilty, you know, you look guilty, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I did that one time, man, and I kind of regretted it. I didn't get caught because it was a cop right there, but I kind of felt nervous inside. I wasn't always looking at him like I was nervous or anything, but just, you get what I'm saying? Like per se, you're on the road, you're driving, man, you have someone in your car. Don't look at a fucking cop. If you fucking pass the cop, don't look at him 10 million fucking times. Never look at him. Right? Keep on fucking driving, man.
That used to be out there. Don't look back. Don't look back. Don't do this. Don't do that. So you got rearview mirror and all that stuff with that. You don't break your neck. You know what I'm saying? You look guilty. You know?
Yeah, that's what sets you up to get caught, man. That's why you got to be smart with it. Just like man, don't go in the club fucking flaunting that shit either. Don't fucking light up a blunt unless you know that club. And there's a lot of other people in that club actually doing that, you feel me? Don't be the only one to light up a fucking blunt in there and have your ass get fucking kicked out like Cali, bro. Not to say anything bad about Cali, bro, but that's what happened. He actually went in a little club and he was, flaunting and shit and then he threw his shoes up on the thing, was I think giving dollars to the girls. The girls were feeling it and everything, and they called him in the back room and said, actually, he lit up a blunt. And then they called him in the back room. And then they said, you can't be doing that shit, blah, blah, blah. You can't be in this club, so get the fuck out. So basically, you got to keep it under wraps sometimes.
Yeah. That's what happened to Cali, bro.
Hell yeah. He was chilling in the club, yeah. He was just chilling in there. He lit up a blunt, and then they called him back, man.
Yeah, I ain't heard from Cali Brown in a minute, man.
Yeah, me either. I was wondering what the fuck, but.
So, but yeah, man, my whole thing too, dude, is just like, man, no, that stuff was good, bro. It was so good. I mean, I tell you what, if you want to catch somebody that was lying, that was a liar, you know what I'm saying? If the police if they wanted to legalize that for like interrogation, dude, that should make you tell the truth. It just made you open and free, dude. I was just like, man, oh my goodness. And you could tell that it messed with your senses because, almost like, I guess, I know you've done shrooms. I ain't never done shrooms, but I heard about what, I guess, like colors are more vibrant and stuff like that.
Yeah, plus I tended to sweat a lot. Man, I was sweating like a motherfucking profusely as hell. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just me or it was the actual effects, man. I only tried it like a couple times, and both times that shit happened to me. So. Yeah,
you kind of do that because you can get dehydrated, too, on this. You got to drink a lot of water, stuff like that. And
yeah, but it was trippy. My vision was kind of moving back and forth, kind of up and down just a little bit. I didn't take that many. I was outside. It was a hot day. I was fucking tripping. It wasn't that much, but I was still tripping my balls off.
Yeah, but that's how this was. It was like, you know, the green. I remember, man, that's a nice green shade. You know what I'm saying? Man, that shade is green, man. It's nice. You know what I'm saying? But it makes you. It makes you just feel good. You're like, man, that's just, yeah, you know. And then like the sense of touch, your sense of touch is you're a little more sensitive to everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some hash does that to you, man. A little bit of the strong hash, man, the Moroccans and the Lebanons and some of the shit they have in Amsterdam and shit.
Man, that's the thing about that. A lot of those stuff, dude, is you know, that's that process type stuff, man. They got that them different chemicals in that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, can of butter. Actually, no, I don't think there's no chemicals involved in the hash making process unless they actually put them in there. You feel me? It's just basically
they started putting stuff in there, dude. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that regular shit no more. They started putting stuff in it.
Yeah. That's what I'm afraid of, dude. Even in Amsterdam, you know, it's not pure all the time. You feel me? But the purest shit is the best shit. You get what I'm saying? If they don't fuck with it, it's perfect, man. Just like the can of butter. And the can of butter is like 98% THC, man. So that shit blasts you off like a rocket. You feel me? You see like fucking, you could fucking like pass the fuck out. You get what I'm saying? I've never seen nobody pass out from it, but you could fucking like seriously just fucking have the best fucking ride of your lifetime. You feel me? Just seeing different colors. Your vision's kind of going one way and another way. Your eyes are like all low. You're hungry as hell. You feel me? And just doing your thing, man.
Yeah, I don't want no stuff that I can't function. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to enjoy it. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I done had some. I think I done got somebody slip me a Primo. You know what I'm saying? Before, you know. I don't know if you know what Primos are.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think somebody slipped me a Primo one time before, because that's the only time when I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, man. Shit.
Yeah, my bro actually, somebody slipped him something like that, man. And he thought he was fucking on cloud nine having a heart attack. You feel me? He was fucked up like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that was not no good stuff, man. I'm like, man, I've been about to die, man. Like, I mean, you could feel your heart just about to explode, and it was just crazy, dude.
Yeah, it is fucking crazy, man. All these different drugs, what they can do to you, and actually like something. You feel me? You know, if you have marijuana and it's spiked with anything, basically, you're gonna fucking trip your balls off, and you'll actually know that. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I actually felt maybe a couple times in my lifetime, man, where there was actually something in it, dude. And I was fucking like just laying there. My heart was beating, just like you said, man. My heart was beating all fast and shit. So maybe it was the same. Maybe it was the Primo. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. But
yeah.
She was like, man, why would you smoke something like that? That was not fun.
That's not the...
Man, that just ruined my whole area. I was like, man, it's just like you can't breathe. You can't breathe. Your heart feels like it's going to explode. You know,
almost like you're going to hyperventilate and shit, man.
Yeah, and then you do that whole thing. I'll never do it again. I'm never going to do this again, you know.
Yeah, it's like you have that dime you have, or that quarter, man, and you smoke something out of it, and you get that fucking, like you said, your heart's going all fast, and you're fucking freaking the fuck out, man. I had that a couple times, and then I smoked the shit some more. I'm like, what the fuck? Why the fuck am I smoking that? Maybe because I didn't think it was laced, and actually after that fact, it didn't actually do that to me. So I don't know what the fuck, man. You know, I don't know if there was something in it, or maybe it was real good. I'm not fucking sure, dude. I really don't know.
Well, yeah, man, with that ex, dude, I mean, like I said, I can't say anything bad about it. The only bad thing I can say about it is that it was too good.
This is a pill you're talking about?
Yeah, the ecstasy pills. Yeah, it was like.
Oh, ecstasy. Okay, man. I thought you were actually talking about something else after that.
Nah, I was just talking about. She was like, you know, I didn't want to try it. No, I I tried it more than on a few occasions, but they weren't like back to back. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, okay, I go get some. I mean, I'm talking about like weeks, different.
Yeah, that's a love drug, man.
Huh?
That's a love drug. That's like a real sexual drug, correct?
Yeah, man. I mean, so like I said, I mean, it wasn't even just that. I mean, like I said, everything felt good. The sense of touch. Like my girl, she didn't even want to. It didn't really drive her sexually at all. She was just feeling good. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's different things for different people. They said, I mean, it was yeah, you get your thing on with it, but but man, you know, I used to eat it, you know what I'm saying, and to where it, you know what I'm saying, it you know, gives you that direct, you know, it doesn't take that long, you know, you swallow it, you drink it, you know what I'm saying, but if you eat it, it gets, you know, right in that blood system quicker, you know what I'm saying, but
yeah, I never really had a thing for ecstasy, man. I've heard of it plenty of times, got offered plenty of times, but I never really took on to it because, you know, I already have a fucking high libido. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real sexual guy already, so I didn't think I needed no ecstasy, man. You feel me? Because I thought it was mainly a love drug, basically. You know, a very, very sexual, enticing drug. So.
But I think it was. I don't even want to say it was like shrooms. There's some similarities, but like I said, it wasn't. It was like I said, you want to tell the truth. That's one thing, boy. You're just happy, dude. And it's like it's like you're floating, dude. Like when you're walking, it's like you was kind of like floating. You kind of like just sitting there. See, and I would mess with it too. I'd be like, okay, I'm trying to stand still, and I know I was floating, so I stand still. And you kind of feel yourself like swaying, but not like a drunk sway. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a, you know, just like a smooth sway. You know what I'm saying? So not where like, you know, you might get knocked off your feet, but you just like you're so loose, you feel so relaxed that you just sway, and you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, wow. But
I definitely know what you're saying, man. I don't know if you ever heard of like the Spike 99. You know, Spice Gold, Spice Silver, you know, any of those substitutions for marijuana?
I heard about them, but what about them?
Actually, what it actually does to you, it actually gives you that kind of drunky feeling, but it's not quite like that drunky feeling, man. It feels like you're floating on air. It could last from 4 to 6 hours, man. I used to actually partake in a couple of them, you know. Basically, because of the situation I was in, so I actually smoked it, and it was actually enjoying. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, but the government's starting to crack down on that, man. But you know, there's actually a couple stores that still sell it around here and shit. You know, a new store kind of came in around here, and they actually sell it there. They sell pipes and shit, man. So. You know, people are actually buying that. People are seeing that more readily. I've heard from a boy of mine that it actually was killing people. But I said, man, I smoked that shit for like a year, dude, and I had no problem with it. Depends on the fucking person, like you said, man.
Yeah.
If you're fucking crazy, don't fucking take something and get more crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we're gonna do is make you get more crazy.
Yeah, you gotta have a strong mind, man. I have a strong mind, and my mind can actually handle some of the best shit there is. You know what I'm saying? I just never tried it. You feel me? Like pot, dude. I act like I'm not high, dude. You know, I could smoke some of the best shit, and you wouldn't see it in me. I wouldn't be laughing all crazily. I wouldn't be all all fucking fucked up like that. You know what I'm saying? I'd be actually able to actually do work, do business, do anything I have to do. I could be in the studio while doing that. I could fucking drive fucking wonderfully. I never drive on it, but you know what I'm saying? It's just my girl actually drives me around. You know, when I'm kind of messed up a little bit, I'd have a little bit too much to drink sometimes. She'll drive me around and shit. You know?
Yeah, that's one thing I does not encourage, man, because I sure could not drive when I'm high, dude. That's what I say. My boys, they like to hot box and do do all that riding dirty and like, man, sit down somewhere. Even if I'm with you, I don't even want to be in a car and we all high, you know what I'm saying? I like to sit down somewhere. That's one thing I got. When I was older, I like, man, I'm not going to smoke unless I know we're going to be posted for a while. You know?
That's true. Yep. There's been plenty of times me and my boys had to do that as well because we're smoking like fucking a QP, fucking night and shit, just fucking smoking and smoking and smoking, dude. Why? You actually, when I fucking smoked over and over and over again, and one night I'd actually smoke myself sober, most of the time. And that was a waste of fucking weed, man. So I stopped doing it, like I said, and I grew up and saw the better things, saw the better things that you could actually have smoking that shit. You get what I'm saying? It's a happy drug. It makes you happy. It don't make you fight with people, just like liquor does most of the time. Even with liquor, dude, I'm nice. I'm happy. I'm controlled. I'm basically nobody can actually make me mad. You feel me? I'm not sure, man. A lot of people have problems with it.
Yeah, it can definitely bring out the violence in you if you got it in you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm no evil drunk either. You know what I'm saying? But that's one thing to me, and this is what I've always told people too. If you just smoke weed and just weed, I mean, I don't know anybody that was just violent off of just smoking weed. But when you start, you mix alcohol and weed and stuff like that, or if you drink alcohol, a lot of that brings violence out in a lot of people. They drink alcohol or whatever. But I don't know anybody that just smoked weed and they was like just wanted to go fight all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, to me, it just relax you more. You know what I'm saying? You're like, man, shoot.
Exactly. Let me go get some Burger King and let me go get some
fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Corn chips or something, or some ice cream and shit. Basically, that's all it really makes you. It actually makes me motivated. You know how it says it makes some people lazy? It makes me actually more motivated to do shit.
The music dudes are kind of different because my homeboy, he used to get a lot of music done, like that. It motivated him too. He was a producer, so he smoked, man, and be, man, up all night just making tracks and stuff like that. So yeah, it does motivate some people, but man, it made me want to just chill, man. It's like, what I'm saying, you're supposed to go out to the club, you want to go out to the club with your homeboy. I wouldn't smoke first because more than likely, if we had a long time before the club and we smoking, man, next thing I know, I'm not going to the club. Hey, you know what? I could do without. I could just chill. Let's get something to eat.
There you go, man.
Let's get something to eat.
It depends on your mental mind state. You feel me?
Yeah.
It depends on your mental mind state at the time. If you get high and you're tired or you don't feel good, you ain't gonna want to do shit, man. And basically, if you're up and shit and you got a little bit of sleep the last night, man, I don't sleep a lot, man. So it kind of does make me tired a little bit, but it actually makes me motivated and tired at the same time. I don't know if that sounds right to you, but it actually does that as well. It kind of relaxes me. It just, oof, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it, man. That's just, I'm not no hardcore pothead. I used to be, but that shit just relaxes you after a hard day of work, after you put the kids to sleep. And, once you're relaxing and you're watching a movie, you fucking laugh a little bit, fucking smoke a blunt or grab the bong and take a couple bong hits, man. That's the best thing in the world to me. Man, I don't even drink liquor hardly. I drink a little bit of beer every now and then, man, and a little bit of hard liquor maybe a couple of times in a year. You feel me? I just smoke pot, dude. I hope it gets legalized all the way around the board. You feel me?
Yeah.
Well, there's all kinds of bad shit besides pot, man. They should just make everything legal and give everybody a chance to make their own decisions. If they make a bad decision, that lands them in jail. That's them. You feel me?
Yeah.
And if they want to do their own privacy of their own home, let them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's how it should be. But my thing is, I guarantee you it's just because of the whole money that they that the government or whoever is making, off of that, and not letting them share the pot, because it just don't make no sense, man. Because you got over-the-counter drugs that can do the same thing and worse. You know what I'm saying? That we selling every day. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, dude, if you take a couple of Benadryls, man, like Benadryl messing me up, bro.
Yeah, them are fucked up ass. Yeah, there's a lot of fucked up medications, pharmaceuticals out there, man. You know, if they legalize pot, it would fucking put them out of business, man. It helps everything from cancer, the arthritis, the back pain, the fucking shit, the fucking nausea with cancer patients and chemo patients and everything else, man. Look at hemp, dude. Hemp would put all these textile companies out of business, man. It wouldn't even be funny. There's like 5,000 different things they can make from that shit, man. From petroleum to fucking everything, to paper, to rope, to houses, to fucking everything you can imagine, food, just basically everything, clothing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's going to come a time, man, when, dude, man, I got to put you on, because we in the after hour anyway, dude, I got to put you on to this, have you seen the UFO disclosure stuff from, I think it was like from 2004, 2005, they got a whole, man, it's like a 3-hour thing on YouTube, well, about an hour, but they got different parts. On YouTube, man, it's a bunch of high officials that have been in like the military and worked for the FAA and all kinds of people from different countries, Mexico, high officials, whatever, and they pretty much came together, dude, and was just like, man, and they were just confessing, dude, like, yo, man, I got this information on these UFOs that we had for this long, or whatever. And they all said that they would testify under oath to a congressional hearing. And man, and some of the stuff was on, like I said, I don't know if you've seen the alien invasion or anything like that.
I don't think I did. I've seen a few things, a few movies, like a political and about pro-cannabis and like the fuck Obama fucking thing and you know, a lot of different other shit on YouTube, but I've never seen that, though.
Yeah, it's a thing called Alien Invasion, man. I've seen it a couple of years back.
Is it any good? What's it actually called so I can actually find it?
No, it's called Alien Invasion. It's a documentary. They actually played parts of it on, like, the History Channel and stuff like that, because some of the same stuff, what it was, NASA released, they were like the last organization to release their classified documents that are now unclassified. You know what I'm saying? So they released.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out, man. I'm definitely gonna check that out maybe tonight after Team Dime Radio. But yeah, fucking, I'm gonna check that out like a motherfucker.
They released their video footage, man, of just a lot of stuff that they took on space when they've been out there in space, and man, dude, there's different aircraft. They got pictures of all that type of stuff just on the moon and just all out in space, man. You know what I'm saying? So what some of these guys are confirming is that, you know, they might have been a part of these programs or not even a part of some of these programs, but just, you know, working at different places around the world, you know what I'm saying, and everything that they experienced, you know what I'm saying, and they were just pretty much confessing. There's one FAA dude, he took the original tapes, because this is like when they didn't even have, like, a lot of units or laws set up for some of these, you know, different departments, because this is, you know, back in the 50s and stuff, you know, like when they really started occurring, you know what I'm saying, you know, in the beginning. So it's like, you know, they would call, like, these people would be feds or whatever in and let them know what they had, and so they didn't really tell them what to do with the rest of the stuff, so the dude just kept it, and he kept it till he retired, like in a separate drawer. So he's got the tapes, the actual calls of the air traffic controller on what was going on that day. They got everything that was printed out. He's got files and files of stuff, and he was like, yeah, it just so happened to make it out of my desk and into my personal tax stuff. So he brought it to the finger. And he was like, he'll testify. I mean, a lot of them do. They had a lot of info, and they were just like, they said, well, I'm not gonna live like this. They're like, man, we got to tell somebody, you know what I'm saying? That, and they're pretty much saying most of the same thing. They're like, if you notice, a lot of the sightings happen around the superpower people, for one, that have nuclear weapons.
Okay.
And what they're doing, I don't know if you was on that one where I had the UFO dude, the colonel that had, he predicted the October 13th, UFOs and stuff like that. And they're basically saying that, they don't want us to weaponize space, and that's what we're trying to do, weaponize space, because it'll mess up.
Yeah, I don't think I heard that show, bro.
Yeah. You gotta check that. But not even that. Just check out some of these things, man, on YouTube, dude. Because they can really catch you up. I mean, not only that, because I watch. They've been playing a lot of this stuff on Discovery Channel, History Channel. That's another reason why, man, something is really about to go down, because it's like they're really opening up more with the information that they put out.
Yeah. Exactly, man. I know what you're saying. Definitely do. But I'm going to have to let you go. It was definitely a fucking joy talking to you. Definitely for this 2 hours, I think it was. And everything.
Yeah, man.
It was my pleasure.
You bringing your mom in and stuff like that, man. It was cool, wonderful stories, man. Definitely, man. Check us out.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.
Nexxlegacy Radio.